Queen Elizabeth II is the longest-reigning British monarch, the longest female head of state, and the second longest-reigning monarch in global history, having reigned for 70 years and 214 days, from February 6, 1952, until September 8, 2022. Prince Albert, Duke of York, and Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon welcomed Princess Elizabeth into the world on April 21, 1926, in London, England. The second son of King George V and Queen Mary, her father went on to become King George VI. Her forebears include King George III and Queen Victoria, the second longest reigning queen in British history. King Edward VIII, Elizabeth's uncle, abdicated his throne in 1936 and married Wallis Simpson, an American divorcee. Her father was crowned king the next year. Young Lilibet, as she was known, grew raised at the Royal Lodge with her sister Margaret. The siblings were homeschooled, with studies in French, mathematics, history, art, dancing, and singing. When World War II broke out in 1939, the royal family moved to Windsor Castle. She proceeded to address the children of London through radio broadcasts, telling them that everything will be well. By 1942, she began accompanying her parents on royal tasks like as military inspections and formal tours within Britain. On November 20, 1947, Elizabeth married Philip Mountbatten, the son of Prince Andrew of Greece. The Queen took the name Windsor, as suggested by the Queen Mother and Prime Minister Winston Churchill. She gave birth to Charles in 1948, followed by Anne, Andrew, and Edward in 1950, 1960, and 1964, respectively. By 1969, the Queen had bestowed the title of Prince of Wales to Charles, establishing him as his heir. On April 9, 2021, after 73 years of marriage, the Queen's husband, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, died at Windsor Castle at the age of 99. Queen Elizabeth II formally became Britain's sovereign queen on June 2, 1953, following the death of her father, King George VI, on February 26, 1952. The coronation took place at Westminster Abbey and was the first to be aired on television. At the start of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, Britain still maintained dominions and dependencies, which later acquired independence and joined the Commonwealth of Nations. In the 1970s and 1980s, the Queen traveled on official visits. In 1976, she traveled to the United States to commemorate the 200th anniversary of American independence from Britain. In the same year, she inaugurated the Summer Olympics in Montreal, Canada. She explored the Middle East in 1979, seeing Kuwait, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, and Oman. Queen Elizabeth became the first queen to visit Ireland since 1911, underscoring the crown's symbolic importance. As queen, she reduced royal family expenditures, a 250-year tradition. Furthermore, she continues to support a number of philanthropic organizations and activities. As of 2017, Queen Elizabeth had appointed 13 prime ministers, including Winston Churchill, Harold Wilson, James Callaghan, Margaret Thatcher, Tony Blair, David Cameron, and Theresa May. She has also met a fifth of all U.S. presidents. A guy pointed and discharged a rifle at Queen Elizabeth when she was riding in the Trooping of Color to celebrate her birthday in 1981. Fortunately, the rifle was filled with blank ammunition. Among the problems that tested the royal family was the collapse of Prince Charles and Princess Diana's marriage. The couple separated in 1992, and Princess Diana died in Paris on August 31, 1996. The media questioned the Queen for remaining mute for days as the whole world mourned. Some felt that Queen Elizabeth didn't want to give Princess Diana a royal funeral, which inflamed popular discontent. The Queen issued an official statement 1 week following Princess Diana's death. In 2002, Queen Elizabeth celebrated her Golden Jubilee. Unfortunately, it was the same year she lost her mother and sister. Elizabeth celebrated her Sapphire Jubilee in 2017, surpassing her great-great-grandmother Queen Victoria's 63-year reign. When the COVID-19 epidemic struck the United Kingdom on March 19, 2020, Queen Elizabeth relocated to Windsor Castle. The Queen cancelled her public engagements in accordance with the HMS bubble procedure. On April 5, 2020, she promised the British populace that happier days will return via television. It was followed by another broadcast on May 8, which commemorated the 75th anniversary of V-Day. She had her COVID-19 immunizations in January and April of 2021. The epidemic also forced the burial of Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, in April to be held privately. Amid the epidemic, Queen Elizabeth attended the 2021 state opening of Parliament and the 47th G7 summit in Cornwall, England. Queen Elizabeth gave the NHS the George Cross to commemorate its 73rd anniversary. Queen Elizabeth celebrated her Platinum Jubilee, 70th anniversary, on February 6, 2022. Despite skipping the national Thanksgiving service, Queen Elizabeth appeared on the balcony and with Paddington Bear for the Jubilee concert. In the same month, she tested positive for COVID-19. Despite this, she talked on the phone with Prime Minister Boris Johnson about Russia's aggressiveness in Ukraine. After a week of illness, the Queen recovered. On March 7, she welcomed Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to Windsor Castle. On June 13, 2022, after 70 years and 127 days, Queen Elizabeth became the world's second longest reigning monarch, surpassing Thai King Bhumibol Adulyadej. On September 6, 2022, Elizabeth revealed Liz Truss' nomination as her 15th Prime Minister at Balmoral Castle in Scotland. Aside from being the third female British Prime Minister, Truss was the only new Prime Minister not welcomed by the Queen at Buckingham Palace. Her advanced age reduced her public appearances and allowed Prince Charles to take on more official responsibilities. With no intention of abdicating, the Queen continued to do less tasks. On September 8, 2022, Buckingham Palace announced that the Queen required medical supervision at Balmoral Castle. She was joined by her 4 children, including grandchildren Princes William and Harry, as well as Camilla and Sophie. 2 hours later, her death was verified. Following her death, Operation London Bridge and Operation Unicorn, Scotland, commenced. Millions of people from across the world attended her state burial at Westminster Abbey on September 19. She was buried in Windsor Castle's St. George's Chapel beside her husband, sister, and parents on the same day. After Queen Elizabeth died, his son Prince Charles, now Charles III, became King of the United Kingdom and other Commonwealth territories. At the age of 73, Charles III was the longest-serving heir apparent and the oldest king to ascend to the throne in British history. Prince Charles and Princess Diana had 2 sons, Prince William, who was named Duke of Cambridge and the heir to the throne, and Prince Harry. Prince William married Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, in 2011. The couple had their first child, George Alexander Louis, on July 22, 2013. Princess Charlotte was born in 2015, and Louis, their third child, arrived in 2018. Aside from Prince William and Harry, Queen Elizabeth's grandchildren include Peter Phillips, the Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie of York, Zara Tindall, Lady Louise Windsor, and James, Viscount Severn. Helen Mirren starred in the 2006 film The Queen as Queen Elizabeth II. She was honored with a Golden Globe and an Oscar. Mirren also played the Queen in the West End and Broadway play The Audience, for which she earned a Tony Award. Claire Foy won a Golden Globe for Best Actress for her role as the Queen in Netflix's original series The Crown in 2016. The Queen's favorite dog is a Corgi. She even invented a new breed of dog, the Dorgie, which is a mix of a Corgi and Dachshund, the dog of Princess Margaret. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with other parents and teachers who are looking for quality educational content for kids.